Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Kryptonian saying here, bringing you guys another discussion for Dragon Ball Super's manga. And now that we're in a situation where the Granolah arc is definitely heating up and looks like we're getting our first clash with Goku and Vegeta against Granolah, I want to kind of back up for a second and I wanted to discuss the possibility of Broly returning, and I want to look at some different takes that I've not really seen kind of floated out there. So yes, the low-hanging fruit is like, oh, Granolah's the strongest in the universe and Broly has all this potential and he's been training off screen. I absolutely agree with that. I think it's very possible Broly is probably on a level to where when he shows up after all this training, now that he's unlocked Super Saiyan, there's a possibility that Broly's going to be absolutely broken. Absolutely. Don't disagree with you. However, I want to look at this arc and I want to look at two different aspects of this arc that we've seen so far and explain to you why I think that Broly should return and why I think it's possible he might actually return. So the first thing I want to look at is the actual character of Granolah and kind of segue into how that opens the door for Broly returning. So when you look at Granolah, we've seen a character, he's been kind of bloodlusted for revenge. Totally get it, super cliche. However, the thing about Granolah is that when he had that dream, thinking back to when his planet was destroyed, we saw that Ozaru that was in there, and a lot of people at the time said, oh my god, that's Bardock, and I was like, I don't really see it. And some of the ideas behind it is that right after that you saw Goku and Goku is training with Whis right after that, and people saying that's a clear way of kind of indicating it. But the reason why I don't think that that's the case is chances are if Granolah saw the Ozaru in his dream, chances are he got to look at those Saiyans after they got rid of their transformation, after the full moon went away and they transformed back into a normal state. And so you would think that when he saw Goku's picture, given how closely Goku and Bardock resemble each other, that he would have said, oh, he looks like he's that Saiyan from that time before. He didn't. There was no reaction. Same with Vegeta. There was no reaction on there. And given that both of them resemble their father so closely and there was no resemblance, I don't think that King Vegeta or Bardock were the ones that destroyed his planet and that Granolah saw. However, there is another full-blooded Saiyan out there in Broly, and I think there is a possibility that it ends up being Paragus. And the reason why that could be something that works is let's look at how Granolah acquired power and the message that's centered around his power. So while Goku and Vegeta are training and Whis is saying like, yo, you're in a situation where, you know, you got to train every day, but there's gonna be somebody that pops up in the future who's gonna be stronger than you. That's just the way that these things happen. You're the strongest right now, but tomorrow there could be somebody that surpasses you. Well, when you look at what the dragon's message was to Granolah, he says like, look, I can make you the strongest in the universe right now, but it'll come with the sacrifice of your remaining lifespan. And the thing is he's the strongest in the universe at that point in time. Goku and Vegeta, they understand the importance of hard work and training, and essentially Whis dropped the foreshadowing in there. Whis said like, hey, you need to learn to use Master Ultra Instinct in your base form, and then you can use the transformation when you need to surpass your limits. That's the difference. You have power that's worked for, and then you have power that was just given based off of latent potential. Basically all the strength that he was going to be able to acquire in his lifetime that was possible for him to get is all in his body at the expense of his lifespan. Now, why does that fit in with Broly? Well, Broly has latent potential just like what you see with Granolah. The difference is that Broly has worked for that power, and after fighting against Goku, fighting against Vegeta, fighting against Gogeta, and now being able to unlock the Super Saiyan transformation, and during that time when Goku went on to planet Vampa to speak with Broly, give him the food, there's the thing about that. You can kind of bet that Goku's probably passed on some information in that time period right there. And the thing is that having a character like Broly sitting out there that has that potential for that much power, it opens up the door for a clash between hard work versus power that's given. And I think that that's probably going to be the payoff that we're getting here. This would be a really good way to actually pay off the character of Broly in this instance, because Broly is training on that planet, and the thing about it is that Granolah will be so focused on Goku and Vegeta and so focused on keeping up with them, bodying them. Let's say there's a huge gap in power between him and Goku and Vegeta, and no matter how strong they get, they're not able to actually surpass him. The thing about this is that you could make the argument that Broly is starting off at a higher point than Goku and Vegeta were. Goku without the Master Ultra Instinct and Ultra Instinct Omen slash Sign, obviously. But what we saw in that Broly movie is that Broly was able to tap into an enraged Super Saiyan form that kind of drew on the power of those Zaru transformations. That's a 10 times boost, and then Broly was able to transform into a Super Saiyan. That's another 50 times multiplier, and then when you add in the rage boost that you got at the same time, Broly was absolutely broken to a point where it took Gogeta having to fight him. Granted, it was Gogeta in a very controlled manner, and Gogeta was dominating that fight when you look at it closely, but the fact is that he was able to keep up with a fusion character, which that in of itself speaks volumes to what Broly's power was. So if Broly's gotten more powerful since then, and he continues to train after Granolah gets that power, because we know that there was about 18 days, and so Granola's power is going to be limited to how strong those characters were during that time when the wish was made. And so if Broly was that benchmark that Granolah was at, and then Broly continued to train after the fact, if more time passes, maybe you have another few months that pass, and then that's when Broly gets introduced. If Broly unlocks another form of Super Saiyan, if it ends up being Super Saiyan 2, which I think is a 2 times multiplier of the Super Saiyan transformation, the fact is that Broly gets that additional Super Saiyan transformation on top of that. That opens up the door for all of a sudden an unexpected circumstance, and it goes back to what Whis was saying. Those who are diligently training are going to be able to surpass their limits, and the person that was the strongest the day before, because they're getting comfortable, which is what Granola's weakness is going to be, because they're getting comfortable, they're eventually going to get surpassed. And I think that that is something that can actually work there. I think that it'd be a bit refreshing to have somebody like Broly reintroduced in this way and not let it be Goku or Vegeta to actually take out this character. I think that this gives the writing the opportunity to start giving some extra information and extra development to characters outside of Goku and Vegeta. Broly is the only character in this franchise who has popularity that can rival Goku and Vegeta at that instance. So I think that is something where you can start bringing this character back into the fold there, because the way that they left it in Dragon Ball Super Broly was so open-ended that I don't think that that was done by mistake. And I think that this is the right time to actually introduce the character, especially given the circumstances of everything that's going on right now. However, I want to know from you guys, do you guys think that this is a bad idea to have Broly brought in? Do you think that having Broly be what actually triggers more of that flashback of when Granola's planet was destroyed by the Saiyans? Do you think that that's a bad idea, that it actually be revealed that Paragus is the one? Do you think that that feeds more so into Granola's whole power trip when it comes to getting revenge? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.